Greetings, I'm Herbert Erpaderp, and on July 5th, 2025, I was here at Roma Street Station in Brisbane to say goodbye to Queensland Rail's EMU sets. These were the first electric passenger trains in Queensland, introduced in 1979. They've been in service for about 46 years, and according to Queensland Rail, have travelled approximately 12 million kilometres around Brisbane's suburban network. Today's train, EMU 59, was built in, I believe, 1985, one of the final EMUs built. That is probably one of the reasons why it's the last one in service. Riding these trains was a big part of my childhood. Back then, they were the only electric trains on the network. Young Herbert would have preferred to ride a 2000 class rail motor, or a diesel-hauled SX set, or a steam train, of course, because you don't really miss the common thing while it's the common thing. Recently, it's been a rare treat to see or even ride on one of these old beasts, and I had to come along for one last trip, and I wanted to share the sights and sounds, and the sounds of the EMU are certainly distinctive. This wasn't really a special service for people who like trains. I mean, it was a special service and it was largely for people who like trains, but it was also just a regular revenue service. Probably the most bizarre regular service for a lot of unsuspecting passengers. You'll see why. They did make it a bit special by having the train sit in the platform for a good long while so we could take photos and whatnot. I'm sure, and I hope, some people took really good in-depth pictures of every little detail. I didn't. There was a lot of people in the way, which is fine, really. What it tells me is that a lot of other people also cared about these old trains. The number of people I saw filming and taking pictures through the day was quite surprising, especially the number of young people. You wouldn't call it a huge celebration or anything like that, but Queensland Rail did give out some pins and other bits and pieces, as well as cupcakes. Delightful. I do like the EMU horn. I've tried to capture it as much as I could in this. Obviously my recordings aren't going to be the best because it is just a phone microphone, but it still sounds pretty good, and you'll hear a lot more of it at the end. Ah yes, perfect positioning. The train was way too crowded for me on the first run to Caboolture, and I did have other things to do. The good news is they're currently running coal trains through the city loop, which if you ask me is pretty cool. It's not a common thing to see. Here's a couple of shots from my good friend Barnaby. First, the train arriving at Bray Park. And then EMU 59's final departure from Morayfield Station. and here it is coming back to Roma Street.
Service that will need to disembark. Any customers standing around the assisted boarding area, stand aside and let our staff disembark customer from the service.
It was still far too full, so I didn't get on, which allowed me to see the Spirit of the Outback arrive, which I guess is a pretty good consolation prize. I figure this is as good a place as any to insert a handful of clips of EMUs I managed to get over the last year or so. I do wish I'd gotten more, though they have been phasing these out since 2018, so they've not been a common sight for a while. I decided to go to Corinda to get on EMU 59, where I saw this very happy AWS ramp.
Train now arriving on platform 5 is the retiring EMU 59. This train service will stop all stations to 30 Grove.
There was still a lot of people aboard, but I had to get on. This was probably the weirdest train ride I've ever been on. You'll see.
That's how you get the train coming in and you get the train
Coming back into Roma Street, we had tilt trains, both kinds, diesel and electric. I was also able to get a seat. Standing on the train isn't especially enjoyable. The horns and traction motor sounds through the city tunnels was kind of special. I'm pretty sure everyone enjoyed that.
When I say EMU, you say for life! EMU!
For life!
EMU!
For life!
EMU!
Forever!
Yeah!
There's main yard. There's the main yard.
But the trains are out of service, and this is the final service of the electric
Random tree! Random tree! Random tree! Random tree! Random tree! Random tree! Random
Random final goodbye to the EMU, and it's very sad day, but we're making memories. Good on you, money. Good on you. We're making memories.
Mitchelton! 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 Oxford Park Station! Mind the gap! Now arriving at Roadley Station! If this is your station, prepare to
interior of these old EMUs is not lovely. The carpet is pretty gross. I guess it hasn't really made sense to replace that for quite a while now, but these old seats are far more comfortable than the ones on the new NGRs.
Asbestos! 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 Office works! Office works! Office works! KFC! 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 LYG! 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 Lutwich Road! Lutwich Road! Lutwich Road! Lutwich Road! Lutwich Road!
Just a tree! Just a tree! Just a tree!
Just a tree! Main yard! EMU! 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 EMU!
Next station will be Postal Station. Any customers with the book charge and/or breakfast, chocolate, Cleveland, Queensland Rail, 16th Street, and Postal Station.
Booing the new NGR trains became an amusing tradition.
Fortitude Valley! Fortitude Valley! Fortitude Valley! Brunswick Street! Brunswick Street! Brunswick Street!
So my car, when I drove to catch the train, is parked in Ipswich.
This terminates here is what I mean.
This terminates here.
Yeah. I'm on the street. You should be saying this.
Right now terminates here. All customers make sure you have your personal belongings. I hope you guys have had a good day and a pleasant evening, and we'll see you again on another service that we run around the place, NGRs or 160, 260. Have fun. See you.
Thank you, driver! 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 Platform 10! Platform 10! Platform 10! Platform 10! Platform 10! All customers, please exit the train on your arrival to Roma Street.
Disembarking for the last time was kind of sad, but by this point my ears were kind of exhausted. Also, you can see some of the graffiti that the train acquired on the journey. It happened 3 or 4 times. Some people just have no value, I guess. The driver was awesome and took pictures and video of the inside of the cab for everybody. Probably not the best idea to let this crowd come in and do it themselves. It's obviously been upgraded in there over the years, a little bit, but it certainly still looks its age. I really appreciate the driver doing that. A coal train came through to say goodbye. Clearly this was intentional and not just good luck. Everybody loves a good honk. It is kind of sad to watch a piece of history roll off into the darkness, though it is something we all must do, I suppose. But it's good to go out honking and being well loved. Farewell, EMUs. Thanks for watching.